Do you think you are free? Really? Take a moment. Don't rush to answer. Let this question linger. Because what if the truth is far more uncomfortable than you'd like to admit? You wake up. What's the first thing you do? Grab your phone. Scroll through feeds you barely even care about. Searching for what exactly? Connection, excitement, distraction. Then comes the dopamine. A sip of coffee, a funny reel, a short video, that hit of novelty. It doesn't seem harmful. In fact, it feels normal. But is it? Let me ask you this. What happens when you're alone with silence? Do you feel at peace, or do you feel uneasy? Have you ever felt like you constantly need noise, entertainment, something just to avoid being left with your own thoughts? Is that freedom, or is that dependence? Because here's a painful truth most won't tell you. Freedom doesn't always come with choice, and slavery doesn't always come with chains. Sometimes it comes with pleasure. So, if this message resonated with you, subscribe. Turn on notifications to help this channel growth. Okay, let's continue. Have you ever wondered, why is it so hard to put the phone down? Why silence feels so heavy? Why you feel off the moment you're not stimulated? Is this something you've noticed in yourself? If yes, don't be ashamed, most people are there too. And maybe that's the problem. We live in an age where the chains have become invisible. No one's forcing you. No one's holding a gun to your head. No one is telling you to scroll endlessly, to binge content, to escape every uncomfortable moment. And yet, you do it every day. Voluntarily. This is not coincidence. It is conditioning. And in this video, we're going to unpack something that most people are too distracted to even notice. How pleasure became the most effective prison ever invented. How society has quietly redefined slavery into something you welcome, even crave. And how if you don't wake up, you may live your entire life thinking you're free, when in reality, you never were. Aldous Huxley, nearly a century ago, saw what many still don't. While George Orwell warned us of a future ruled by fear and repression, Huxley gave us a vision that was even more dangerous. A world where no one needs to be forced to obey, because they'd be too entertained to even notice, too distracted to even care. Ask yourself this: does that sound like fiction? Or does that sound familiar? Look around you. We're living in a world that is obsessed with stimulation. Any moment of silence, we fill it with noise. Any hint of discomfort, we run to dopamine. A swipe, a like, a notification. And here's the scary part. No one told us to do this. No one had to. Because when pleasure becomes abundant, suffering becomes intolerable. And when suffering becomes intolerable, control becomes effortless. Now pause and think. How many times have you opened your phone without even realizing it? How often do you eat not because you're hungry, but because you're bored? How many hours have you spent numbing your mind with content you don't even remember? If you're being honest, your answer might disturb you. And if it does good, that discomfort. That's awareness knocking. In Huxley's dystopia, they had Soma, perfect drug. No side effects. No guilt. Just a quick chemical escape from anything real. Sound far-fetched? Now think of what we have today. Social media filters reality into bite-sized illusions. Dating apps turn human connection into dopamine vending machines. Algorithms know what you want before you do. And when something hurts, we're told to self-care it away. Mask it. Mute it. Swipe it. Forget it. Anything except feel it. And that's the point. We're being trained to avoid pain at all costs. But here's the punchline. The more we avoid pain, the weaker we become. Let me ask you directly. When was the last time you sat with pain without trying to escape it? Do you even remember what it's like to be bored without grabbing your phone? You ever questioned why discomfort feels so unbearable now? Could it be you were taught to fear it? Could it be that comfort is killing your mind? Because here's the brutal truth most don't want to face. Pleasure doesn't make you free. It makes you compliant. And a compliant mind is easy to rule. Let this sit for a moment. When you're constantly entertained, when every discomfort is anesthetized, you don't grow. You just exist. And those who merely exist don't resist. So I ask you, have you become easier to control without even realizing it? If that question stings, it means you're still awake. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into how this endless avoidance of discomfort is weakening us, individually and collectively, and how reclaiming your mind starts with doing the one thing society teaches you never to do. Feel the pain, face the void, and stop running. Now imagine this, a world where no one suffers, no pain, no sadness. Every discomfort erased within seconds. Sounds like paradise, doesn't it? But look deeper. What kind of person would you become if you never had to struggle, never had to endure, never had to wait? Answer honestly. Would you grow? Or would you slowly decay? Here's what no one tells you. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is your training ground. Frustration forges patience. Heartbreak builds depth. Loneliness awakens awareness. Discipline is carved from pain. But what happens when all of this is avoided? You get used to ease. You forget how to wait. You panic at minor inconveniences. You collapse under the weight of even the smallest failure. Sound familiar? Ask yourself, do you overreact to minor problems? Does silence feel threatening? Have simple tasks become overwhelming? If so, it's not because life got harder. It's because you got softer. Today, people melt under stress. They ghost each other instead of having uncomfortable conversations. They quit at the first obstacle. They can't sit through a movie without checking their phone. And we call this normal. We've become a generation that demands comfort and breaks without it. And here's why that's terrifying. A society that cannot endure discomfort is a society that cannot resist control. It will obey. It will conform. It will trade freedom for convenience every time. Why do you think you're so easily overwhelmed? When something goes wrong, do you fight or flee? Are you truly choosing your lifestyle? Or are you just too scared to face the alternative? If this feels like a punch to the gut, good. That means part of you is still alive, still capable of critical thought, still willing to feel. You weren't always like this. No child is born afraid of discomfort. We learn it. We are taught to avoid the void, taught to numb ourselves, taught to escape. Through advertising, through culture, through dopamine-based design. And over time, what happens? We become fragile, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. But let me be clear, that fragility is not your fault. But it is your responsibility now. Because no one is coming to make you strong again. That work, it's yours. Pleasure enslaves. Purpose liberates. You want to reclaim your strength? You want to break the spell? Then stop chasing pleasure and start chasing something far more powerful. Purpose. In the next part, we'll explore why chasing meaning, not comfort, is the only path to real freedom. Because you're not here to be endlessly entertained. You're here to wake up. Let me ask you something honest. What are you really chasing in life? Happiness or meaning? Pleasure or purpose? At first glance, they may sound similar. But look again. They lead to two very different destinies. Society tells you that happiness is the goal. That a good life means more likes, more stuff, more comfort, more fun, more escape. But after the scroll, the binge, the dopamine hit, What's left? Have you noticed how quickly the joy disappears? Think about it. You laugh at a video. You order your favorite food. You hook up with someone new. And 5 minutes later, that same hollowness returns. Why do you think that is? Now think about the moments that truly changed you. Was it when everything was easy? Or when everything broke? The job loss? The heartbreak? The night you couldn't stop crying? The challenge that almost crushed you? Those are the moments that shaped your strength, not the pleasures. Pleasure numbs. Purpose builds. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and brilliant psychiatrist, said it best. Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. He watched people endure the unimaginable. And what he discovered was profound. The ones who survived weren't the strongest or even the healthiest. They were the ones who had something to live for. A reason beyond themselves. A reason beyond pain. But here's the catch. Purpose takes work. It takes reflection. It takes walking alone, resisting comfort, and staying awake. Pleasure. That's easy. That's passive. That is available RSCBT. And that's exactly why society pushes it on you. Because someone living with purpose is someone who can't be controlled. What is your why? When was the last time you did something hard not for gain, but because it mattered? What are you building that will still matter 5 years from now? If your answer is silence, that's okay. But let the silence sting. Let it wake you up, because real life doesn't begin with dopamine. It begins with direction. So if you're tired of living for scraps of pleasure, if you're ready to stop coping and start becoming, then the next part is for you. We'll break down the exact steps to escape this pleasure prison, reclaim your autonomy, and rebuild the one thing you didn't even know was stolen, your mind. So, you're awake now? You see the trap. You feel the hollowness. You know this is not how you want to live anymore. But now comes the hardest part. How do you escape? How do you break free from a system that was designed to keep you addicted, distracted, and emotionally dependent? It starts with one thing: reclaiming your mind. And here's how you begin. Step 1. Strategic deprivation. Let's be clear. Pleasure isn't evil. But when it's everywhere, all the time, it becomes poison. And the antidote: deprivation. Strategic. Deliberate. Conscious. Pick one of your biggest dopamine crutches: social media, ultra-processed food, binge content, alcohol, gaming, casual sex. Then cut it out for 7 days. Not forever. Just a week. Notice how your brain reacts. Notice how uncomfortable it feels. Notice what it reveals. Who are you when the pleasure stops? That question alone could change your life. Step 2. Build discomfort tolerance. We're so used to escaping, we forgot how to sit with anything uncomfortable. So here's the challenge. Try doing absolutely nothing for 10 minutes a day. No phone. No music. No talking. Just stillness. Feel the itch to distract yourself? That's your withdrawal. That's the addiction speaking. But here's the truth. Discomfort doesn't destroy you. It reintroduces you to yourself. Over time, silence becomes a sanctuary, not a threat. You begin to hear your real voice again. Step 3. Reignite critical thinking. We are drowning in content, but starving for wisdom. So here's your mission. Start questioning everything. Why do I crave this thing right now? Who benefits from me staying distracted? I wasn't doing this. What would I be doing instead? The more questions you ask, the more patterns you'll see, and the more of your mind you'll start to take back. Ask yourself honestly, am I thinking? Or am I just consuming? And if you're only consuming, who's doing the thinking for you? Step 4. Replace pleasure with purpose. You can't just remove pleasure. You must replace it with something deeper, something lasting, something that hurts at first but heals in the long run. That something is purpose. And no, purpose doesn't mean quitting your job to follow your dream. It means creating something meaningful, showing up consistently for what matters, making decisions that align with who you want to become. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? What kind of person do I want to be when no one is watching? What would I build if I knew no one was going to clap? Because once purpose takes root, you'll find that distractions lose their flavor. Comfort loses its grip, and you finally feel alive. But here's one more truth. Even if you awaken, the world stays asleep. And when you change, people notice. Some admire, some resent, some feel threatened. Because you now represent what they're still avoiding. A mirror, a challenge, a reminder, and that will test you. But if you've made it this far, you're not here to be liked. You're here to be free. If you've made it this far, you're no longer asleep. You've felt the tension. You've recognized the trap. You've questioned the lies that most people still live by, that changes something in you forever. You are no longer just a consumer. No longer just a product of algorithms. No longer just another person looking for the next hit of pleasure. You're someone who sees. And once you see, you can't unsee. Yes, this path is harder. Yes, it's lonelier. Yes, you will lose people who preferred you asleep. But let me ask you, would you rather be accepted in a world built on illusion, or walk alone in the truth? Would you rather be entertained or free? If you've made it here, the answer's already inside you. You are not here to blindly obey. You are not here to chase numbness. You are not here to be another silent, smiling servant of the system. You are here to ask, to think, to break, to rebuild, to feel discomfort and still walk forward. You are here to remember who you were before the world trained you to forget. So I ask you now, will you go back to scrolling? Back to escaping? Back to pretending everything's fine? Or will you choose differently? Will you choose awareness over sedation, purpose over pleasure, truth over comfort? Because the system cannot enslave someone who no longer needs its rewards. You don't need validation. You don't need distraction. You don't need to feel good all the time. You need to feel real. And that's what this path gives you. If you felt something shift inside you during this video, don't let that feeling fade. Act on it. Cut something toxic from your routine. Sit in silence today. Journal your real thoughts, raw and unfiltered. Ask yourself what you truly want your life to mean. Then come back and share your experience in the comments. Let's turn passive viewers into active thinkers. Let's build a space where freedom begins with awareness. This isn't just content. This is the beginning of something deeper. If you're ready to walk that path, subscribe, leave a comment, and keep questioning. Because here, we don't sleepwalk through life. We wake up. We feel, we choose. And above all, we remember who we are.